and welcome to At the Tubies, my ongoing show about Tubi. If you're not familiar with Tubi, it's a website where you can go watch movies for free at any time you want. You don't even have to log in. The problem with Tubi is they have so much material, it's hard to navigate. That's where we come in. I'm here today with my co-host, Mormo Zine. He is co-owner of his own independent film studio, Fell House Video, as well as Rob Zombie Chick 420, and she also is co-owner of Fell House Video. What we're going to be doing today is we will each be recommending 2 films off Tubi we think that you must see. I'm going to start off today. My first film is Combat Shock. This is a trauma release from the 1980s. It is one of the most brutal and uncompromising films I have ever seen. I think if this film was a big budget film, it would be unwatchable. You would just want a neck. I mean, it just goes on and on how horrible the main character's life is. He is a Vietnam War vet with a heroin addiction, a deformed Agent Orange baby, and he can't find a job. He just goes fucking nuts. I compare it to sort of like Eraserhead meets Deer Hunter. It is a must-see, especially if you're a trauma fan. I've found a lot of trauma fans have not even seen this film. I grew up a trauma fan. I didn't even hear about it until probably early 2000s, and it had already been out close to 20 years at that time. So I'm not really sure the history on it.
I know I saw it on VHS the first time.
Did you see it back in the 80s?
Yeah, and I loved it. I thought it was incredible.
I watched the trailer just like maybe like 5 or 10 minutes ago, and I was like, after I got done watching, I was like, what the hell did I just watch? But I'm intrigued. I want to watch it. Like, I really do want to watch it.
I think one of the most hard to view parts of the movie is the baby.
It would like just cry all the time, and it was all like deformed and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like this haunting shriek, like, hey. And it's starving, and all they have
boiled milk.
Hey, we got some milk left.
Taste it.
Hey, why didn't you tell me it was sour?
Yeah, I love that movie. It's so awesome. Big fan. Didn't that same director make a movie called It's Hot in Cracktown?
Life is hot in Cracktown.
I'm not sure there is another trauma film about New York City drug life. It's pretty gritty, kind of like Combat Shock, just not as good. I mean, the thing about Combat Shock is just how bizarre that baby is, I think. I mean, that's a serious fucking part. And I mean, everything that could be going wrong for somebody. He has no job. He has no family. He's married to this lady who is just like the most complaining asshole chick of all time. And she's the reason he has no contact with her family because none of them can stand her. He can't find a job. The unemployment office literally tells him he has no skill. He's fiending for a fucking heroin hit. He has no money. He's fucking having Vietnam flashbacks all fucking day long.
Sometimes I feel like I'm oozing out of my body. Like I don't belong here. And my mind forces me somewhere else. I can't stop it because it's so real that I believe it. I hear it, I smell it, I can see it. It's so fucking cold.
Every time something happened, you know, he's having his skin ripped off in Vietnam or honey poured on him and ants being poured on him and shit. I mean, it's fucking crazy. And it's directed by a guy named Buddy G, who I'm not really familiar with any other films per se. But I did hear a rumor. I heard it was filmed on the same camera as the original Toxic Avenger. And it really does have that kind of look to it, you know?
Right on. That's awesome. I had never heard that before. I think I've seen a couple of that guy's other films, the guy who directed Combat Shock. One was an action film and one was a drama about crackheads and stuff.
If you haven't ever seen Combat Shock, give it a shot. I mean, it's crazy. I would recommend maybe having some mind-altering substances because this is a horror film. I mean, it's just a downer fucking movie. Even the baby looks kind of fake, but it's like hard to laugh at it. You know what I mean? Because it's so fucking disturbing looking.
Is there only one Combat Shock, or do they make any more after this?
No, I think it's a standalone film.
Yeah, I don't think they could make a sequel to it. I don't want to give away the ending.
Yeah.
One of the worst depressing endings I've ever seen in my life. Capped off with the main character finally chugging a glass of that chunky ass milk. So if you've never seen Combat Shock, give it a try. So moving on, let's go to Mormo's first pick.
My pick is called Dirty Cop No Donut, and it's like it's basically an early found footage film. It's about this cop who takes a college kid who's like has a video camera along with him on his rounds, and he's just being like this obnoxious dirty cop and like doing drugs and trashing people's businesses and stuff and demanding money from them and stuff.
Hey, there's a good cut.
Oh, Coyote!
You do this on a regular basis, huh?
I know what we've been doing, Coyote.
It's Joel D. Wynkoop is the star, a guy I'm a big fan of. I invested in a couple of his films, actually. Dirty Cop No Donut is just a really awesome movie. I haven't seen part 2 yet.
And it is on Tubi. I saw it on there.
Yeah, that's where I saw it was on Tubi. I knew of it for a long time, but I'd never seen it. I found out it was on Tubi, and I was so stoked to finally check it out. It's from director Tim Ritter, the guy who directed Truth or Dare. I'm a big fan of that guy as well, and it's just an awesome movie.
I started to think possibly it was a student film at first. It seemed like a lot of the cast were very young. Now, the main cop, he seemed like an older guy, but, there seemed to be some pretty young people in the movie. My favorite part was when he picked up the Jamaican hooker who seemed to be an Asian lady.
Yeah.
There's some pretty funny stuff going on there.
I thought it had a great ending. The ending surprised me, and I thought it had a great ending. I didn't see that coming.
I have not seen it, but it sounds interesting. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Dirty Cop No Donut, great acting, great direction. A lot of found footage makes me seasick, but this one didn't make me seasick at all. It's just like really entertaining and fun to watch. I was cracking up laughing watching it and thought it was really good.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next film. Rob Zombie Chick, what do you have for us?
I'm going to be talking about Piranha Double D. This was the sequel to the remake of Piranha, the remake was amazing. So when they announced Piranha Double D, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be great. I saw the first one in theaters, and it was amazing. And then I wanted to see the second one in theaters, and it was only like a limited theater release or some shit like that. So you had to watch it on demand or whatever. And the sequel basically starts. You have Gary Busey's character and this other character, and freaking this cow ends up I don't know how the cow ends up blowing up. I think with some like propane gas, releasing these piranha in this cow's stomach, and chaos ensues at that point.
That smell will knock a buzzard off a gut truck. That's a gaseous damn cow.
And then it involves this water park that's passed down to a really sleazy uncle. Like, it's like a Girls Gone Wild water park. And this sleazy uncle basically turned this water park that was once like a family water park into this like sleaze water park. which I thought was kind of hilarious. And the uncle, this girl, like she's half owner, but she doesn't have the full custody of it or whatever. This movie's brutal. Like it's a very brutal movie for what it is. Like it basically like it's probably the most brutal like killer animal movie I've ever seen.
You know, I saw the original, the first part of this series of Piranha films at the movies in 3D, and it was very brutal as well.
Yeah, like both movies are really brutal, definitely.
One thing that sticks out of my head about that one was seeing a piranha puke up a human penis.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater, and I'm just like, damn.
It was like an IMAX screen, too. It was all like giant and curved coming at me.
Those were better times, man. They knew how to make movies back then.
Well, there were a lot of penises in Double D as well. I mean,
they definitely were fair with everything. I would say that.
It's a super sexualized movie. I mean, there's people making sex comments constantly. There's even a big fat guy that works at the pool who's like openly fucking the the jet in the pool, you know?
Yeah,
like
Dave! What the fuck you doing? The hole where the water comes out. Ah!
Yeah, it's like this movie does not give a flying fuck. They do not care. This movie just went balls to the wall. Like they went as raunchy as possible to get just enough not to get NC-17. They're like, okay, how far can we go with this?
Yeah, and it does have a few stars in it. It has Ving Rhames from Pulp Fiction, Marcellus. Talk about being typecasted. That poor guy, right? This is the only movie you can get, a one-legged cop in a wheelchair.
I think he's one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, he's great. Like that guy's such a better actor in this movie than this material. He's like so typecast as that Marcellus from Pulp Fiction. It's hard to break free from that. But the other surprising cameo was David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff was great.
Yeah, he was visiting the pool park as a celebrity lifeguard, you know, because of his role on Baywatch. They portray him as a guy having threesomes with David Hasselhoff groupies in the motel. It doesn't paint the Hoff in a good light at all.
Come to bed, Hoffy. It's nappy time.
I am the love hunter. Hear what I say. Looks like Dawn is ready to play.
I'm Rochelle.
I'm Dawn.
Yeah, that cameo. It's hilarious.
I've seen Piranha in 3D on the big screen. I saw the 3D one on the big screen and loved it. I saw the original too on TV, Piranha, the original. And wasn't the original directed by like Joe Dante?
Dude, I thought it was the guy that did Terminator.
He might have directed part 2. I don't know.
He directed part 2, The Spawning. That also was a great one.
Yeah, I watched them on TV when I was a kid and loved both of those movies.
When I was a kid, and I mean a little kid, so I mean this is like late 70s, early 80s, there was a lot of wildlife horror films.
And those are my favorite. That's my favorite genre of horror is killer animal movies.
I watched Food of the Gods many times on TV. Every time it was on TV, I was watching it for sure.
Yeah, Food of the Gods is one of my favorites as well. There was a movie that horrified me as a kid, and it was basically like a killer bee movie where this killer bee colony descended on a town and just like they covered everything, you know? This was no CGI bullshit. They literally dumped like 25 miles worth of bees onto a fucking town, and these people were getting stung for real and shit. You could tell.
They must have sued them. They had to have.
Back in the day, they didn't give a fuck, you know, about the animals. Have you seen the 10 Commandments where the parting of the sea?
Fuck that movie.
Sea collapses and all those horses are underwater and shit?
Yeah, that movie's terrible.
They literally just dumped real horses into a fucking glass tank to get those shots. They pretty much just drowned because good luck getting a fucking drowning horse out of a fucking small glass tank.
That's what movies nowadays, they don't use real animals. It's all CGI now.
Yeah, but the stuntmen too. Remember like Ben-Hur and those people are falling off that chariot and people are falling off of it? Like real people who were stuntmen. You can see them getting trampled by the like 18 horses in a fucking big wagon.
I would say Piranha Double D, the deaths are probably some of the most brutal deaths. I say both films have brutal deaths. Like I said again, like the deaths in this one I think are more intense. Like the uncle, I don't want to give it away, but pretty good brutal decapitation scene with that. If I had any complaints with it, it would be like it wasn't really a follow-up sequel to the remake. Like, I mean, I don't know like why they didn't just follow up with that one, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. I would say it's a big recommendation for me if you're a fan of like brutal killer animal movies, especially like water animals, fish, sharks, what have you. It's definitely a fun time.
Okay, for my next film, I am choosing Burial Ground, which is one of the craziest zombie films I've ever seen in my life. It's actually based on some monk's prophecy called like the Black Spider prophecy. It involves these monks rising from the dead. I mean, these fucking zombies are fucked up looking. There's no budget on the fucking movie, but regardless, this is some of the nastiest, weirdest, and in my opinion, coolest looking zombies you're ever going to fucking see.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
Whatever it is, it's not human. It's a walking corpse.
Oh, Mark. I'm terrified, Mark.
Come on. Let's get out of here.
These are not any recently deceased zombies. These motherfuckers have been dead quite a while, you know? Somehow they're up and they're making movements and shit. One of the more bizarre aspects of this film, for me, was that there was some kind of law back in Italy, back in the 1970s, where child actors couldn't appear in R-rated movies. So they had to hire this like 30-year-old little person to portray this 12-year-old son of this Italian mother, and there's this bizarre wedged in plot line that is weaved into the whole fucking thing.
Scientists should be a bum.
Mama.
Yes, darling, what is it?
Mother, this cloth smells of death.
One of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen, and the special effects are pretty good. The print on Tubi is about as good as you're ever going to see a movie like this. The ending is really fucked up, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, I'll watch that tonight.
So
I've seen this, but it's a movie I would not choose to revisit. Like,
oh god, is it that bad? Like, is it that brutal, or is it that like graphic or whatever?
it's very disturbing. It's a disturbing movie. Now that I'm on antipsychotic medication, I probably wouldn't enjoy this movie the way I did when I was younger. And I just won't watch a second time, you know what I mean?
So you wouldn't recommend watching it on like psychedelics or something like that?
If you want, yeah, you could, but
it's like, brace yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no point to this movie other than there's a bunch of people who are going to get ate by zombies dressed like monks. And they just have this creepy, weird storyline wedged in for no apparent reason. And the whole thing is just fucking weird and bizarre.
My question is, would you rank it upon like zombie films? Like, would you say it's one of the best ones, or it's like, would you not even put it in that category of best zombie films?
Well, obviously, since I'm picking it, I think it stands out among most zombie films. You know what I mean? Because I used to be a big zombie fan back when it was just Romero pretty much, but it sort of became a genre. Not only a genre, but they have like scary ones and funny ones, and they have fast ones and slow ones and TV ones.
We have enough TV ones.
I think it just stands out as a really bizarre film. Like I said, I really like how cool the zombies look in this movie, especially with the weird monk robes.
I'm intrigued 'cause I love Italian zombie films. Like, I'm a big fan of the movie Zombies. That is probably my favorite zombie film. So if it's like in that moniker, because that zombie movie definitely has like an Italian like vibe to it. Like, a lot of those Italian films have that. So if it's like that, I'll probably definitely like it for sure.
yeah, for me, I love movies like this when I was a kid, but I probably wouldn't rewatch them now. As like an older man on antipsychotic medication, I probably would not watch these movies again.
It's kind of strange for an Italian film too, because most of the Italian films are very slow burns.
I like slow burn horror films. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, this one's very fast paced. It speeds right by, in my opinion. So if you guys are looking for some kind of zombie film to watch that you haven't seen before, I can quite assure you, you've never seen this type of zombie film. Go check it out. Mormo, let's move on to your next pick.
My pick is called Zero Budget Heroes. It's the Chris Seaver story. He's a prolific filmmaker. This movie documents his career. He made a ton of movies. I used to see them on DVD. I think I rented quite a few through Netflix by mail. I think I owned at least one of them. He teamed up with Troma, and he teamed up with J.R. Bookwalter, who are two of my favorite filmmakers. And his movies are just so crazy, like Heated Terror at Blood Fart Lake. All these like crazy movies that are just so funny and so high energy and everything. They're just really funny movies, and I've been a fan of his for many years. So it was cool to learn more about his process, how he made all those movies. And to see Lloyd Kaufman and J.R. Bookwalter and everything and their involvement. And it's a story I've been following for many years, and it was really good to see this. I'm really grateful to Tubi for having this available.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Tubi. They seem to have something for everyone.
Oh, for sure. Like, that's probably my favorite. Honestly, one of my favorite streaming services, just because it has everything, and like it's just obscure stuff that it really can't find.
Tubi needs hosts. That's the only problem. Tubi and Hulu and Netflix and Shudder and Amazon Prime, they all need hosts and curators because it's too hard to find anything on the Roku channel store or whatever. They need to have better categories and like collections, have people in charge of collections, and all of those services need hosts, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing I love about Tubi is that, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It has literally something for everyone. Even if it even has an audience of one, they don't seem to care. They just dump vast amounts of catalogs up in there, and you kind of got to pick through it, but you'll find stuff every once in a while. But if you just try to look through everything they have, you're going to be looking for quite a while. You know what I mean? It'll be a while before you get out of the ace. That's what we're trying to do with this show, kind of guide people to films to watch on Tubi.
Yeah, some of the best ones.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of gear more towards the obscure. We want people to be able to see these movies for the first time. And really, I don't think you're going to miss on any of these picks. Now, Zero Budget Heroes, I am interested. Were these shot on video or just low budgets?
He did some films shot on VHS. I think, they were mostly shot on video, just like consumer level cameras and stuff.
I'm definitely intrigued about that documentary, Mormo. The last documentary you sent me to review, I thought was very interesting. So I'm definitely might check this one out for sure.
It's a good one, and to see somebody who was prolific at filmmaking and stuff. It's really interesting. Zero Budget Heroes is the Chris Seaver story, low budget pictures. They made a lot of incredible films I've seen, liked when I was young, but now wouldn't care for as much. And some of the offensive humor might not be as funny to me anymore, but just to hear the story of how they were made was really inspiring. As somebody who my life passion is making movies and stuff, that's like my main goal in life.
It definitely sounds like something I want to watch because I love that kind of inspiration for sure.
Definitely check it out.
The next pick for me is a movie called Feast. This is probably one of the best creature feature horror films ever made. I feel like it's very underrated. It doesn't get talked about a whole lot, which is sad. But Feast basically takes place in this like bar kind of area. It's like in this middle of nowhere area, and everybody's in there. It's like, you know, and Jason Mewes is in this movie, which I'm a big fan of Jason Mewes. I met Jason Mewes in person, really sweet person, love him to death. He was in this movie, and I thought that was kind of cool, him being not in that Kevin Schmew universe kind of role, but I think he did great in this. I love this venture more of Jason Mewes' solo films away from Kevin Smith. Nothing against Kevin Smith, obviously. Jason Mewes definitely can do his own films, and I think he's a great actor. This is basically a brutal, like, just destruction fest with these creatures, like these, and you don't really know what these creatures are. Like, they're just like these ugly, like, just really good costume designs by whoever did the costumes for the movie. Like, they're brutal, they're ugly, they're fucking like hideous, and they're just mauling these people, and just to a point where it definitely, if you're somebody that gets sick easily, I'd say it probably wouldn't be your cup of tea. But if you like that brutal, like bloody, like just gore fest, then this is definitely a movie for you for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think I used to watch a reality show on HBO. Maybe it was called Project Greenlight.
I watched that.
Was this not one of those movies they made?
I remember this movie had genius marketing when it came out. Feast. Like, in the horror community, it was all you heard about for a while. It had really brilliant marketing. It made a big splash when it came out.
Yeah, I remember when it came out as well. It seemed to be a turning point in film. Started seeing more like kind of monster movies coming out.
Which I love those killer, like, or those monster, like, creature, like, you don't know the unknown kind of movies, like Feast, the Mothman I think it's Mothman Prophecy, and movies like just like these creature feature movies. And one of the deaths, like, this guy gets puked on, and just like he starts like turning into one of these things, basically just starts like it's gross, but it's great at the same time.
I think I've seen part 1 and part 2. I think there's a part 2 that I saw as well. I think I rented it on DVD.
There's actually a total of 3 films. I've only seen the first one. I think I might have seen parts of the second film, but the first one was so great. And like I said, I think it's very underrated movie. Like, it doesn't get talked about really anymore. Like, it really brings it up, and that's a shame, because I feel like it's a horror classic. Like, it's one of those like must-see creature feature films, mostly for the creatures alone, just because they look different. It's like when you see the creature for the first time, it's like has like a skull with antlers or some shit, and it's just fucking like, and once the mask is like off, you get blown away by the effects. And just, I feel like everybody's having fun with this movie. Like, they're just having a good old time with it, because they know it's over the top, it's crazy, it's kind of goofy at the same time as well, which it's the charm of the movie. Like, and if you like sex scenes and all that, that's like both films. Like I said in my last pick, Piranha Double D, there's a lot of sex, there's a lot of tits and all that shit. Same with this movie. Like, they both have that. If you're looking for that, those movies are probably for you. Or if you're looking for like a cheesy, fun, like launchy, like throwback film, this is for you for sure.
Tell me a little bit more about your film studio and how it works.
We all chip in. We share videos through Facebook Messenger pretty much. And I'm going to get you, damn Nigerians. Upload videos, upload each other's videos, and I consider feature length to be 40 minutes or longer. Right now, I'm just uploading them to YouTube, but I'd like to freelance make feature length video products in the future, and or sell like a single license to a feature length video product.
Yeah, I've seen some of your guys' material. I think it's right up the alley of some Tubi enthusiasts who are into that sort of shot on video or no budget.
I'm looking for a partner who can get my video products on Tubi.
All right, Mormo, Rob Zombie Chick 420, I want to thank you for joining me today on this ride through Tubi. We'll all be back next week to do 6 more movies for you to peruse on Tubi. Mormo, anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, I sell art cards. And I got a YouTube membership. I'm a YouTube partner. I got playlists. Like, people have been starting my playlist when they go to bed and then they wake up like 8 hours later. It's me eating breakfast at Bob Evans and stuff. So you can check out my YouTube playlist. I'm starting a new team soon, and I'm not sure where I want to host it, but keep an eye out on what's coming up next.
I do requests. I do $2 video requests. I can review a movie. I can do a reaction, pretty much whatever for a $2 video request. Those are what I really want to focus on a lot more of. I do, like I said, I do movie reviews, out and about, just random topic videos, top 10s, topic videos. Pretty much I do everything on my channel. It's growing. Like I really definitely think that's coming off great for sure. But definitely check it out. Make sure to subscribe to me, Mormo, and Grady.
All right. We'll see you next week at the Tubies.
Keep watching.
If you watch any of these movies, let us know in the comments below. If you have any recommendations yourselves, let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be back next Saturday with Mormo and Rob Zombie Chick. Until then.